I took a nap yesterday during the rainstorm, and man, that always throws off my entire sleep cycle.
When you get a nap in?
Yes.
Well,
yeah,
they say,
I was up till 5 in the morning.
How long of a nap did you take?
A couple hours.
Okay, that's more than a nap. They say that a nap should be less than an hour, probably about half an hour to get the most out of it so you don't fall into the deep sleep and then you're groggy coming out of it.
The REM sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I've noticed that, man, in the past where I can take a 20-minute cat nap and dude, I'll wake up just bounced, ready.
No, I mean, that's why, you know, some countries will actually have that set aside in their office spaces that it's nap time.
There a nap time in our country?
I remember,
there's a lunchtime and a break time.
But nap time, we had it in school when we were like in kindergarten. Do you remember that?
I took my towel,
and you had you laid down either a mat or a towel or whatever you had was your little bed.
Yep.
And then we had one kid was chosen while we're all on our mats napping. You know, the teacher would come around and tap one kid on the back and tell them they're going to be the nap fairy. And then the nap fairy got to go around to each sleeping kid and tap them on the head with the wand and tell them it was time to get up. That it was over. So I do remember the one time I was the nap fairy.
Shut up. You were the nap fairy.
I was the nap fairy.
Dude, I bet you was tapping them on the head.
All the accolades I've had in my life.
Right.
Let me just say, that one is one of them.
Yeah, okay.
That's right.
There was a good one.
Yeah.
It was a good one.
Hate it, though. The reality, though, is that as a kid, you didn't want to do naps whatsoever. But as an adult, you can never get enough of them.
Oh,
that harsh reality,
what is
man.
That moment when you're sitting in your house and you just everything just feels right. That I could take a nap. And just going, that is one of the most beautiful things in the world.
If it's raining.
When you reach this age, you are going to be in nap level.
Yes.
But you're right, dude. When the rain hits.
It's cool. You can smell it. You get that kink in your hair. I mean.
It's Mike in the Mountain, by the way. I'm Brian.
Yeah, Scott. Yeah.
But that is a condition called pubic head.
Pubic hair.
It is. No, I have suffered this. I'm one of those guys who can have straight hair, but the minute I hit humidity,
kinkified.
It absolutely gets that way. And humid air, if I go out east, I remember going out D.C. or Pennsylvania that way.
Right.
Oh, just instant, just curls up. You get all frizzy too?
Just dreadlocks. Yeah, I got these. I got these parts that are like dry frizz straight, but then the rest, man, I just get these dreadhead, man. And what do you do with it? What do you do
with your hide? How do you care for your hide?
I don't.
Scott?
I don't. I don't brush it. I don't. I just.
I found one of your sheds on the way in here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the time of year.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was looking.
Oh my gosh, man!
Not many people, know there are trips where you can come out to Colorado and follow the Cisco shed.
No, that hairball was Aaliyah.
Oh, that was no.
I reckon brush.
It was too blonde. Oh man! Well, I see you're already noshing on your delicious morning nectar of your Starbucks.
I am.
But I got to point this out because Scott's talked about many times. It's not, you're not going there just for the beverage.
No.
Because it's the people that make the difference. I remember seeing a story once on, I think it was 60 Minutes, about the 7-Eleven that sells the most coffee of any 7-Eleven in the country. And they went to find out why. And why was this lady who was working behind the counter. Everyone wanted to come in and get their coffee from this lady. I mean, it was not the best coffee by any means whatsoever, but she made it that way. Right. And that's kind of the vibe you get when you go to our local Starbucks.
It is. And you know what? You can relate to this because you are the same way as me. People thrive on our energy.
Yeah.
Our energy. I went through this morning, and last week, you remember I was down, my lower back
you
was
were messed up,
killing me,
dude.
man.
Yeah.
I was hurting unit. It's getting better. I don't got the pinch. It's just a little sore, but I went in with my normal vibe today to my Starbucks, man. and the girls and guys, man. T-Dog, I'm giving a shout out to T-Dog. He's one of the baristas or whatever you call it.
They're baristas.
Cool kid, man. Just off the hook, kids. Great people, but man, I meet them at the little order microphone there, and dude, they can feel my vibes, my energy, man. I'm just throwing down through the microphone, get around to the front, and inevitably, man, there's a crowd of them at the window waiting to see me. Well, this morning they asked me, they're like, "Are you doing okay?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm doing all right, because last week you wasn't yourself." I said, "Yeah, my lower back was hurting." They said, "Well, we're glad you're back," because they can feel the energy. But, you know, I go in there, man, and dude, I always get these really cool little things made with love. You know, it is. I go there for the energy, for the vibe first thing in the morning. They thrive on the vibe I'm throwing down. It's about just the vibe, man, in this culture, in this society today. It's people like you and me, man. We bring the vibe.
Oh, and when it's brought to us, that's why I bring it, because I know how cool it feels when you get it from somebody. We need it. You know, and if we all would just get that. You know how nice it feels when somebody says something nice to you or does something nice for you. You know what that does for you. So you have the ability to give that every situation you're in.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, and I love to give it, and I love to get it.
It's true.
It's just, man.
No,
that's
right
living.
on.
That's
right
living.
on. Are we all right? I saw you staring, James. Are we in trouble? You were looking like there was some technical difficulty.
Yeah, you know, when you clear all your photos out of your phone and stuff, and you kind of factory reset some apps here, you just got to make sure everything's working as it should be, kind of thing.
I got you.
No, we're good. We're good.
I look out of the corner of my eye. I see this James thing.
I seen the distress.
That's yeah, you did. I know. I was trying not to let you feel it, but I saw it. And
I knew where you were going now that you said it, because James and what he packs into these computers and on his phone, and holy cow, dude.
Don't worry, when I'm stopping, it's not a Scott turn. It's literally the e-brake and everything's just dead stop. Like,
why's it gotta be a Scott turn?
Well, no, with Scott turns, you gotta get a neck brace. For me, we need an ambulance.
Good point. But you were talking about Starbucks and the love you get from there. You know, and there are many people who are regulars, and you get treated, you know, you get that extra special, oh, it's great to see you today kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
But do you ever wonder what the employees of the restaurant say when you leave?
No, I don't want to know.
Okay.
I don't want to know.
Unfortunately, there are actual websites that are in Facebook groups where it's like employees of companies who band together and tell the stories of
I don't want to watch
and
those.
The customers.
I don't want to watch those.
It's Karen's worst nightmares, my friend.
Oh, it is. No, it truly is. But there is one for the Starbucks people.
Really?
There is, and I just got it. They put up a picture of the order they got. Edward stopped through yesterday. And Edward ordered a Venti Caramel Crunch Frap, 5 banana, extra caramel drizzle, extra whip, extra ice, extra cinnamon dole top, 7 pumps added dark caramel sauce, extra caramel crunch, 1 pump honey blend, extra salted butter, 5 pumps frap something, 7 added frap chips, heavy cream, double blended.
Yeah,
Edward, you're an asshole.
He's gonna need an emergency room. Is what he's gonna need, man.
Well, he's just 3 scoops away from Napoleon ice cream. He's got himself a sundae right there, dude.
Right.
How do you drink that through a straw when you get up? Is there a cup big enough to put all those ingredients in?
Admittedly, as someone who used to work at the gas station as a clerk and stuff, there's just some people out here that just do it just to power flex because they know the customer is always right, which just isn't right on its own. Yeah. No, it's some
Is that like a sovereign customer?
A sovereign customer. That's definitely a way to look at it, man.
I don't know. It sounded right, man.
Well, yeah, I would be one of them. If I were working the drive-thru and Edward came through
right.
and ordered that and 7 Frappuccino chips, dude would get 6. All right, I'm just saying, you ask for 7 extra pumps, you're getting 6 or you're getting 8 just to see if you really notice.
Oh, yeah,
you know
for
what I'm
real.
saying?
You bring up a good story, though, because it works on the opposite end, too. Some of these restaurant workers and stuff, like at McDonald's or something, we're throwing an extra nugget in a 20-piece that would just make people's days. Because they know that extra chicken nugget in there just blows their mind. Like, dude, someone's looking out for me today.
And it ruins it when you order the 10-piece spicy at Wendy's and you only get 9.
That's
wrong.
That's ridiculous.
That's wrong.
But that it's funny you mentioned that bonus nugget does. That's incredible,
dude.
You know,
bonus nugget.
Could you imagine if that happened in more places? Because bakeries always talked about the baker's dozen, where you ordered 12, but they gave you 13. That was just the way it is. Why, excuse me, makers of ATMs, why can't that ever happen there? I asked for 40, it gave me 60. Why?
But instead, it takes $3.99 for transaction fees to get
you
your
the
money
money
out.
I already have, which is like paying a cover charge for your refrigerator.
Right. Every time you open
I've always wondered that, man. When you go to Best Buy and places like that, why do they ask you if you want, like, an extended warranty? Are you saying that what you're selling ain't quality?
I have never understood that. It used to be.
I mean, there's lots of ways to look at it.
It used to be. I know I sound like an old fart, but seriously, you bought something and the company just stood behind it.
Right.
You know, it was just, we
Now they
don't want
want
to
a
sell
little
anything
extra.
crap. Now, if you can buy that iPad, but if you want to be guaranteed that it will work, that will cost you another $150.
A receipt used to work.
Yeah,
a receipt, man. You could take in a receipt and get it exchanged or whatever.
I broke a laptop computer that I think was covered for the first 7 days after you buy it.
Right.
Day 8.
Yeah, right.
Day 8, went to just flip it open, and I touched it wrong, and the screen went.
See, now I think they're making stuff now like this on purpose. You know how your warranty says at 60,000 you need to replace your timing belt, and if you don't do it, it blows your timing belt. I think things are purposely made for marketing like this, man.
To get a little serious, you're spot on.
Yeah.
And it's definitely a huge problem that's going on today.
It's a marketing thing.
It's about quantity versus quality at this point in time.
Which is the way I used to go with beer.
Right.
Yeah, quantity over quality.
Remember
Right.
Black
And
Label?
as you get,
$3.99 a case.
but as you get older, your palate starts to get more refined. Like, I need the quality more than the quantity.
That's true.
But yeah, no, the mass production of these things, it's starting to become a huge problem now. That not only is the product's not lasting longer, it's because it's also causing recycling issues, trash issues, all this other stuff. That's because the companies like phone companies, Apple being a prime example of this, they would purposely add software to slow down your phone to get the next phone. They've been caught with this with their pants down. Dude, you're spot on about how this is intentionally run this way, where warranties are needed because it's extra money in their pockets.
Well, and let's talk about what's out in the parking lot out here at the office. A Toyota, 3 Toyotas. I mean, dude, the 01 we call White Thunder, been around forever. It's got 371,000 miles on it. What has yours got now that you're driving? White Lightning?
320. It's pretty close to an oil change.
Holy cow, 300, pretty close to an oil change. 320,000 is due for an oil change.
It's getting close. It's getting close.
But here's you just answer the question of why they do it, though, Scott. It's because they don't make money if that thing lasts 20 years. Right. I mean, if you guys want to look at this, look at why the light bulb never lasts more than a certain amount of time.
Oh, no, it's true. Batteries as well. We have the technology to make them
for the most part.
last
The biggest issue with batteries, though, is how to store a huge amount in a small size. That's
and it's probably out there, but the dude that figured it out got killed. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. No, he didn't. I need your ass tomorrow. Shut up, fool. God dang it, man. Everybody that figures out how to make the car run on water or make a battery last forever, they're no longer here. So no, he didn't. No, he didn't. He didn't.
It's going to be okay, Scott. It's going to be okay.
You all right, dude?
Dude, I need you tomorrow, man.
No, I'm going to be here.
You think till the government gets you?
That's right. Look, dude, if they haven't come and hauled your ass out of here.
they have not built a containment center strong enough for the criticator, baby.
Brian's got a point here. Brian's been out in the air for 30 years, man.
That's true.
The government
That's
know him. They
Yeah,
don't know about you, Scott. So how would we keep this on the DL? Bro?
You bow to.
Oh, great. Yeah.
Hey, did I tell y'all I got a muskrat problem? Not me personally.
I saw you itching.
Well, no, that was because the tick that was on my dog last night.
We're going to get to that,
yes,
too.
We are.
Yeah,
the tick
that's on
that
my
was
list.
On my dog
Yeah,
last
if we
night.
ever get to
No,
it.
we got a muskrat. I always forget you got a list.
It doesn't matter, dude. It's just for show.
I got my list.
No, it's just like when I buy vegetables at the store. I'm not really doing anything.
You never
with
check
them.
any of them. But you get all the cereal.
He was on the
All
list.
the cereal's checked off.
I don't need the clerk judging me on me buying all that cereal. I got to have some bananas in there.
Oh man, my stomach's hurt all morning from this, man. We come in and got rolling right off the get go. My guts hurt, man.
Well, that's what's supposed to happen.
Oh my gosh!
Hey, and while we're on a roll with that, I want to give a little shout out to my friends Bob and Robin.
Bob and Robin.
Yeah, they're a great couple who they've been friends of mine for many years. Their son used to play baseball with my son.
Okay.
And then their son ended up buying the house across the street from me.
Really?
Yeah, Bobby was his name.
Okay.
And I always knew him. And people who followed me back then knew him because he was a character kind of I created called Bobby the Mooner.
Is this the same guy that has garage sales every weekend?
Nope, but that house.
Oh, really?
Bobby
Okay.
used to live in that house.
Okay.
That was back, it was a great neighborhood, and Bobby was right across the street from me. And I call him Bobby the Mooner because he got caught in a game of ass tennis. This was a game, I saw the eyes come up from it. This was a game that Todd Harding and I used to play on the air with each other back in the radio days.
Okay.
Just let me explain. Just sit right back and you'll hear a tale. All right. Now, ass tennis is a game where we all know as dudes, the last thing you want to be confronted with is the sight of another dude's bare ass.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. So we both knew that was a torturous thing.
Right.
So what we would try to do is when the other guy would least expect it, flash him your keystroke.
Drop trowel.
You just, he would leave to go to the bathroom, come back in the studio, and the first thing he'd see, my ass right there. 15 love, I'm winning. That was it. And then if you dropped trowel and he didn't see it, that was called a net serve because you got no points. You presented, but it didn't score. He didn't see it,
man.
All right. So we were playing.
Put that down in the bylaws. Ain't no ass tennis going on up in here. We don't want no ass tennis up in here.
One day, we were playing a game of ass tennis, and there was a new guy in the building.
Right.
There was a new guy on one of the other radio stations, and we thought, well, let's go break him in properly.
He quit, didn't he?
And we'll go out in the parking lot and give him a double pressed ham against the glass.
Smashed ham.
So,
yeah.
So poor dude's in there on the air. We go out in the parking lot, drop it, press it, cold glass, go back in. We're sitting there. A minute later, there's a knock on the window of the studio. It's like 7 a.m. in the morning. There's nobody,
Oh, no.
We go and there's a couple of older ladies out there. And we go to see who they are. And they said, we're here from the town of Nunn, and we were going to present you with the honor of being honorary Nunions and be the grand marshals in our parade coming up. And I said, were you out there? Yeah, we were.
Oh!
So you saw our Nunions already.
Oh!
Is what I said, but we still got the honor.
Oh,
we still got
Lord.
to be the honorary Nunions.
Well, for a nun to see some smashed ham, that might be like, oh, that might be.
No, these
okay.
not them. But Bobby had heard all these stories, and he would start trying to get me across the street.
Oh, Lord.
I'd come home from work, be walking in the door, and then you'd hear from across the street, Bri! Turn around, boom, 15 love.
Oh,
He'd nail you from across the street right there.
Oh, my gosh, man.
And dude used to do this. He had a little Nebraska Cornhusker gnome.
Right.
You know, one of them garden gnomes?
Yeah.
And he would just place it in places where I'd look out my front window and that thing would be staring at me. And it used to creep the crap out of me, man. I had this little Nebraska gnome staring at me. But anyway,
Wow.
Bobby's parents are Bob and Robin, who both listen to this podcast all the
listen to
time.
us.
They listen to us all the time. And I had put up a post, something about, I threw up our podcast the other day, and Bob had commented on it and said it was a great show.
Okay.
Remember that? And he had also commented, by the way, my wife made a cherry rhubarb pie.
Oh,
Which
wow.
I had never heard of. Strawberry rhubarb pie is my favorite.
Right.
Cherry rhubarb, I said, I never heard of it. He said, dude, it's better than the strawberry rhubarb. Well, yesterday I get a message on Facebook from Robin.
Right.
She says, basically, I heard that you heard about the cherry rhubarb pie.
Right.
Are you home? I can bring by a small pie.
Robin.
It's getting to you. Then she brought by this little delicious. She said, try it, and if you like it, I'll make you a big one. Well, the minute she left, Kyle and I dove into that thing, and I'm writing her going, this is the best frickin' pie I've ever had in my life.
Oh, come on,
and
man.
she writes back, and she says, I'll make you a big one, but you have to share with Scott.
Robin, God love you, man.
Because they love you. They think that
No.
you're absolutely wonderful. And I said, you don't know Scott.
Yeah, you need help.
And I said, I can't promise I'm going to be sharing with it. And she said, it's your conscience that'll have to live with it.
Yes,
I said,
it
my
is.
conscience is living with a lot more.
Yeah,
than
that's
just
true.
keeping
You got
pie
me.
from
That's
Scott.
true.
But,
That's true.
But just know that they want you to have some of this pie.
Well, when you busted out with Bob and Robin, I just right away, Bob and Robin.
I knew that's what you were going to do.
Bob and
Yeah,
Robin.
yeah.
Tweet. Tweedledee.
Oh, I'm sure they've never
love
heard
it,
that.
But I'm sure not either.
Yeah.
Yeah, back to the beaver problem we got.
But this is going to be, seriously, this pie.
Are you going to bring it in?
Oh, I'll bring some. Will you eat some? Yeah. Okay, all right. Do you like cherry?
I
All right,
live
okay.
for cherries.
All right, see, because cherry is my wife's favorite pie, rhubarb is mine. Put the two together, it like represents our relationship. Is what I told Robin trying to get her to make me a whole pie.
Yes.
But then she breaks out you got to share it with Scott, and I think she saw a wrong relationship.
No, Robin, you've seen it, girl. You've seen the relationship, Robin. Listen, we both love Bob, but you know we got something stronger. Holla at me, Robin. Holla at me.
No. What are you? Now you're cheating on my mom? That's what you.
You beat me to it, Brian. You beat me to it.
Were you going there, James?
I was going to pop that off.
She's listening, you know.
Listen, it ain't cheating. This is just love, man. We just, we need more
Poor
love.
Mom.
No, I love Mom.
Good Lord.
I love Mom.
All right.
And
Oh,
Robin,
couple
Tiffany,
things.
and Becky.
I'm trying to recover. I had a cheat day this weekend.
You did?
Speaking of,
Yeah.
I had a cheat day this weekend,
Funny you should say.
and I'm trying to figure out what am I going to do. All right, what I really want is a pizza, but if I'm going to have a pizza, I want it to be Kersey pizza. I want one
Kersey
like that
pizza.
I wasn't up for driving out there, so I went, all right, no pizza. You know what I haven't had? I haven't had a hot dog.
Oh, yeah.
Just a big hot dog with a bun.
Butts, nuts, and guts, baby.
Oh, and I look in the fridge, and my wife had bought these big, like double-sized Bar S Franks.
Oh, Morris.
All right, so I think this is going to be great. I heated it up and went to bite into it, and sometimes it can be too big.
Duh. You mean
It wasn't even pleasurable.
What was
It
it?
was I couldn't chew it. It didn't taste right. It was too
Was it the girth or the
Solid.
length that got you?
It was a combination, but more the girth. I have to say that I wasn't expecting it to be that firm all the way.
They pack a lot of that, don't they?
They do. But
I want to
could
chime
not-
in
no,
here, but
know
I
you
can't.
don't. No,
I
just
can't.
just
I
shut
got
up.
nothing.
But this is dead serious. I thought I
it's
would
a
have
real
rather
problem.
had 3 of the little ones and enjoyed it because this was just too much. You get this, the bun just looked tiny compared to this thing laying there. There's monstrous freaking wiener that I just couldn't.
Nathan's hot dogs are the same way than Sam's Club. They get those like good quarter-inch size,
yeah.
or 3/4 inch
yeah.
size, man.
Yeah.
They're nutty. And I agree with you, dude. They do pack a lot of punch to them.
They're, it can be too much. I'm telling you, I prefer the smaller hot dog. I just wanted to get that out there. All right. So my cheat day, I had to spit it out. And then I tried to feed it to my dog, who then puked. He had the one bite, and it was gone. Scott, where are you going? Scott,
Looking for the tissues, man. He's crying.
I don't understand.
Crying.
All I'm saying, some bar S are some big ones. And I ain't going there again. I should have driven to Kersey and gotten the damn pizza. That's what I should have done. Lesson learned. It's an educational program today, folks.
I think you had Scott at spit.
So,
Can't breathe, man. I can't breathe.
that's good. That's a good sign.
Oh, God, man.
Oh, how do we get out of that? Where do we go from
Let's
here?
go into Beaver.
Actually, I want to go back. I want to go back to rabbits. Which I should have eaten one of them.
Oh, God. My stomach hurts, man. I'm cramping.
So did mine after that freaking wiener, I'm telling you. It was too much. But speaking of too much, I've been... Are we done? I mean, is there any coming back? I've been complaining... Let me cough here. I've been complaining endlessly about the amount of rabbits in my area. And I tried to take Dante for a walk.
Of course you did.
I did.
That's cold, by the
Yeah,
way.
it is.
It's kind of like Disneyland at our house.
No, I mean really.
Yeah, no, really.
I was trying to take
no,
Dante.
yeah, sure.
This isn't
That's
code for
No,
anything.
yes, it is.
It is
Don't
code, but
believe
not
that.
this time. In fact, my wife heard me say that to you on the phone the other day. You asked how the day was going. I said, and I took Dante for a walk. You're laughing. I get off the phone. She said, you liar. You never walked the
Now
dog.
you know.
Oh, good Lord.
This is a good
Okay.
time to mention that we do have a YouTube channel here. So you guys check out how red these guys' faces are right now. Just check us out. We're at the Mike of the Mountain on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and check out their faces worth the time.
Thank you,
Thank God
James.
we got a narrator.
I know we needed that.
Figured you guys need a breath there for a
We
second.
did.
Please, for the love
Okay.
of God.
So these rabbits. I'm trying to take Dante
Yes,
for a walk, as I
yeah,
mentioned.
code.
But every yard had 3 or 4 rabbits in the
God.
damn front yard. And they do not move. They are not intimidated. And he's just coming off the leash trying to, I mean, he's pulling me all over. I had to turn around not even a half a block and say, no, this can't happen until these rabbits retreat.
It's going to get worse.
Get out of here.
It's going to get worse.
Come on, it's got to get better. I know this is the breeding time.
Oh, God.
Is this going to be all summer long? All this, I'm wondering. And then Chevy shows up at the door.
Yes, he did.
With a rabbit in
God
his mouth.
bless Chevy.
I was so proud of him. This was when I was here. And my wife says, this is what I'm dealing with. And so, we immediately, I mentioned it to you, and Scott immediately says, Have her cover herself with insect spray.
Yes, off. Anything with DEET in it.
With DEET.
Gotta have DEET.
She got gloves on.
Yep.
She went and got the pooper scooper from the backyard. Yep. She got plastic bags, scooped up the carcass, double bagged it, and then put it in the dog food bag.
There you go.
And sealed it and put it in the trash can. And like I had said, she had already applied spray to herself, and then treated the dog with a flea and tick spray as well.
Yes.
Was that all right on?
Yes, absolutely. Cover yourself in DEET. Again,
why DEET?
Well, we don't want to recommend people even handle them, to be honest, if you're not comfortable with it. But if you're going to do it, DEET is what we use for anything with off. For mosquitoes, it's a repellent, but it also helps with fleas. Fleas don't like DEET. Fleas are what's in these rabbits. Fleas, if you remember 4 or 5 years ago, that's what spread the tularemia. The rabbit fever.
Fleas from the rabbits?
It was the fleas from the rabbits, yeah. So it's important to make sure, even I recommend this to people, even if you're working in your yard, man, coat yourself with off. I mean, we're not trying to plug or sponsor or anything like that, but off is the go-to. It's what everybody knows. It's got DEET. Coat yourself whenever you're out in your yard. Protect yourself. Protect yourself. Not just from mosquitoes, for fleas. Ticks. Ticks are bad right now. Ticks are bad right now. Holy cow.
You had just pulled off. You sent us a picture
whopper.
last night of a monster-sized tick that you pulled off your dog.
Dude was a big one, yeah. Jackie actually pulled it off, and then she put it in a bag and brought it to me because she knows how I am with bugs. I'm in the bathtub. Elijah comes running in with a bag. I can see there's a dot in it. I nearly drowned. I nearly drowned because he's walking at me with intent, and I'm not okay with... Dude, what's in that bag? And you better stop right there. I will kill you. You're my firstborn. I do not mind helping you to the other side. Dude, don't bring a bug in a bag to Dad in the tub, man. That's not cool, man. No. That's not cool. So, yes, big old whopper of a tick, man. It's going to be bad. Make sure your flea and tick collaring or the oil on the back of the neck, your pets, they bring it inside. Then you've got it inside. I mean...
No, it makes you itch just talking about it.
Right,
and so
it
forth.
does. Yeah, this year's going to be bad. Bugs are going to be.
What makes you think? What makes you say this year's going to be bad, Scott?
So I was out burning ditches this weekend around the fence line, and man, locusts. There's already grasshoppers.
Oh, really?
Already all over the place out there. Already grasshoppers. We're getting all this rain, which means the growth is going to be incredible, which means the rabbits, all the prey, rabbits, mice, voles. My gosh, James, what did we see for vole? I mean, literally, 47 acres of fence line is about to fall over 47 acres of fence line because of all the voles.
Really?
They manifest in these areas because it's not farmed. The tractor can't go under the fence. The road is on the other side of the fence. So there's this narrow strip. After we got done burning, the hawks showed up. Hawks started showing up. They show up after a burn because there's Vole City, man. Oh. They're wide open. The veins are everywhere along every bit of fence line. Literally, my fence, I mean, how many posts did we have to re-drive in?
Oh, dude,
they're about to fall over.
It was astronomical. Like, this was a prime example of voles taking advantage of situations. Like, not only was the veins crazy, but the holes too. And that's where we pulled the snake, the bull snake, from as well, because he was just chilling with the voles.
Yes.
Because it was
really?
Yeah, that's where he came from. Because as soon as the weeds burned out, the snake came out. We checked it out after the fire, and it's just a vole town central in that area where that snake was chilling.
So does the snake feed on the voles?
It does, absolutely.
It does.
That's one of the most common areas to find snakes. Hognose, bull snakes, rattlers. If you can find an area that's not farmed, aggregates not, and it's kind of overgrowth, obviously the roads, people that tend the roads, they don't mow real close to the telephone poles. The farmer, he's always a couple feet from the telephone poles. So there's this narrow little strip, man. I mean, I remember when we were down at down in Denver, they had a snake problem down there, rattlers and bull snakes everywhere. And I mean, it was so easy to find them because all I'd have to do is look for an area that wasn't farmed or messed with. And I mean, that's where I found most of the rattlers, was in the vole cities. The voles are everywhere, and the rattlers just post up there. They come out of their dens. They find a feeding area. They'll post up there. They can stay in the little burrows with the voles. They eat the voles as needed. It's living in the buffet, man. Living in the buffet. So it's going to be bad this year. Snakes, ticks, rabbits. Shit is going to blow up.
Well, as you mentioned too, Scott, it's the 17-year cycle of the cicadas, which I've never heard of myself. There's a cycle of cicadas.
Yeah,
what
I
is
have
that?
heard that. Is this the year?
This
That's what I'm
is
understanding.
the
Yeah.
year.
No kidding.
So that tells me
great.
it's going to be hot.
Wildlife is going to be incredibly wild because already
is.
I'm just seeing it within the urban areas.
Right.
It is a lot more active and prevalent than I've noticed in the last few years.
Look, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 calls just since we've been on the air.
Are you serious?
Wildlife, 5 calls.
It's
5 calls.
It's amazing how it blows up. But I'm out there hopeful, thinking, okay, just a few more weeks of the rabbits as they get this all out of their system.
No, it's
the heat.
it's gonna be a summer load.
But something I want to touch on real quick, though, with you two, actually, because you brought this up, Brian, is someone like me who is not part of the city life and stuff,
Right.
don't realize how many steps you have to take for one rabbit if you're dealing with one dead rabbit. Because as you mentioned, Brian, you went like double bag, the osprey,
and that's
stuff
by law.
and all
That's
that.
Colorado state law.
Oh, so that's law too.
That is law. With any wildlife carcass, animal carcass that you dispose of can be put in a dumpster. There's call 6. Can be put in it, but it has to be double bagged and then put in the dumpster. Don't go trying to put a deer, elk, or moose in a double bag and call a professional.
But if you were to come across like a bird, something like that had come down in your backyard, because we all encounter that. Our windows are so clean, birds fly into them and die. That's
I never had that problem.
Oh, I've had them bump into it.
I don't have clean windows.
But we've all had that in the backyard where you find a bird, and I remember as kids, I think of the things we did as kids and how we're not completely
like
infected.
the roly-polies and stuff like that, playing with all the Mother Nature. See, you poke it with a stick that something was dead. I'm wondering how the hell we survived.
I know, seriously, what I know now,
right,
compared to then,
Well, and I ate most of that.
That's right.
I mean, I thought, why not see what this tastes like?
Which explains a lot.
Everything.
It does. Hey, a couple of wildlife things I wanted to bring up. I was reading and wondering if you can help me with figuring out what this means, and maybe you can't. I was seeing that you can buy, it started May 1st, that you can buy state wildlife area passes, which is different than park passes or hunting. Aren't state wildlife areas, are those areas where people can hunt and do things like this? Or because I was seeing I think this was the first time that it opened up where, because forever these lands, people would pay for hunting licenses and licenses to go, and that was funding things. And now they're looking at the general public getting a fee, helping with the funding of it as well.
That's always been a sticky situation. Yeah, hunters, trappers, fishermen, anglers, they've always been the brunt of paying for everything. You remember the Colorado Parks and Wildlife had the hug-a-hunter thing out there for a long time. Yeah. Because their fees, everything we pay as sportsmen, I mean, we just went down and I think just for the minimum list of stuff that we bought, I think we each dropped about $80 a piece. Mm-hmm. That's just 3 guys, and that goes toward wildlife conservation. I go over the top. I don't mind what I pay because, again, I know what it's going toward. Could it be done better? A lot of people judge the division on, well, they're doing this and they're bringing wolves in and blah, blah. Well, no, it's the vote. And if we'd stop complaining and get involved
and figure out how to make things work.
Maybe figure out a solution. God forbid. I mean, that's just not the American way. No, that's a good question. I don't know what this is, the state. It may be, again, a higher price, but it covers all the parks for these people wanting to travel to all the different areas in the state of Colorado. It's very fragmented in the sense of open space, general public areas, as far as what you can do, hunt, trap, fish. boy, it's very fragmented on so many levels on what you can do. And fishermen, I mean, there's certain parts of a river that you can fish, but it has to be artificial lure, barbless hooks. I mean, know your regulations, know where you're going and what you're doing. And here's the cool part, man, and I just seen something on this. Don't hesitate to call Colorado Parks and Wildlife. Figure out who the area wildlife manager is. They'll give you their number. Call them. Call them. You'd be surprised if you reached out and asked your local game warden about whatever you're wanting to do, fish, hunt, hike. You would be shocked at how willing they are to help you. Seriously. I know it can be a battle getting through the phone lines and the press and this number, this. I get that. But, maybe we could put something up, James, on some of the websites, some contact information for the division. And, again, just promoting, man, call the division.
Well, what we can do as well is just help people get some insights of just, how to engage in wildlife activities in general and know,
right?
Because, as you mentioned, it has its own authority, if you will.
It does.
You don't need to call the cops or anything like nature that can help you with anything. As well as, like you mentioned, they're great people to talk to understand the wildlife areas, to go to certain parks, recommendations, because they want you out there.
Right.
You're basically, their job secured by you being out there, if you will. So it's a symbiotic relationship.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's that old saying is they put their pants on the same way we do.
Yep.
They're people,
it's absolutely true.
And I'm not saying they're all good. I'm not saying they're all perfect. I'm tired of everybody thinking that everybody in some kind of enforcement or power is God. They're never going to screw up. They're never going to do anything wrong. We're human. We're human, man.
No.
We're trying.
No, it's very true. And I think after hearing everything, what it comes down to on these, wildlife area passes and so forth is, as you said, sportsmen, hunters and fishermen have always foot the bill, and yet everybody can go and enjoy these areas. Mm-hmm. So I think it's a way to get everyone to support and get into the funding and make things even better.
But when you realize too that the pass gets you more things to do, because you go up to Horsetooth, you buy that park pass up there to do the trails up there and stuff. Be cool to know that my pass not only does that, but it also gives me the access to fish at random spots too.
True.
I don't have to be a hunter or enjoy the sportsman of hunting, if you will, to enjoy fishing. Because to go out there and just have a can of beer, and chill in that sun and trying to catch that trout or salmon in the area, man. It's just that alone is just great, knowing I have one pass that can handle it, because that's one of the complexities that we deal with earlier in life, which I'm sure you can agree, Brian. There's like 50 different passes for 300 different things to do.
Oh, it's confusing.
Right, yeah. And it kind of helps. It really deters from me wanting to do outdoor activities, because I'm just like timid to see, does this pass cover this certain area, or does this pass allow me to do this, and so on and so forth. So, I think they took the right direction in this process.
It can be really confusing. It really can. I've heard a lot of people talk about how, complain about how to understand the regulations. I get it. I was there. If it hadn't been for me being a part and involved with the Capitol, with representatives, legislators, helping promote this stuff like I've done in the past, and hopefully get back into in the future, being a representative for sportsmen up there at the Capitol, it's absolutely vital to go in with the attitude of not arrogance or pride, but making a difference. And if it wouldn't have been for me doing all that, I wouldn't have understood the regulations. They can come across very complex.
Oh, it can get very confusing.
But again, don't hesitate. Call the division.
So we're also trying to do ourselves is help, uncomplex that whole process with our Cisco MWE, the Mike of the Mountain here and stuff, to help kind of bring that bridge of communication. Because Colorado, they're doing great. They're trying to make the changes, but they still got a lot of work to do to make sure that we can try to untangle and make it as plain English as possible with this stuff. And again, that's what we're trying to do ourselves here to help the people, to help figure that whole process out as we have these kind of
and it can always be deciphered different. I told you guys, I heard the other day, I wish I could remember. I'm going to figure out what that sentence was. A simple 5 or 6 word sentence there were 7 different ways to take it. I mean, the way she said it every time was just like, oh.
Depending on which word you enunciate or what you do.
Absolutely.
Where that comma was too. If I'm thinking of the same thing, where that comma's placed, it makes a world of a difference.
It does. Well, one other wildlife thing I want your opinion on, because a lot of people are talking about this right now, was the black bear incident.
39-year-old woman in Durango.
Durango. And she had been missing. Her 2 dogs had come home or whatever. Then they find what was left of her after a couple of bears. They found the bears, mother and 2 cubs. And found human remains in the adult and one of the cubs.
Yep.
And this is, I believe, the first fatal attack since like 2009.
Right. It's been a while.
So it's very, very rare.
It is.
It's very rare. But, people, I've seen comments of, did they really need to euthanize the bear? Things like that come into mind. So just curious your take on that, Scott, or if you even have an opinion, or don't mean to put you on the spot, but
that's a tough one, man. There's so many variables to this. Again, I'm always going to blame humans.
I understand.
I'm a wildlife conservationist. I am always going to blame humans. In this situation, it's horrible. I mean, my heart goes out to the boyfriend, family members. Just as a little note, the dogs running off and leaving her, that would have been my dogs. There's a bear, hell no, we're out. Save ourselves. They'd have left me to die. But there's so many variables. We don't know what exactly took place. It's evolving as we go. They're looking into the evidence. Could it have been a medical thing that maybe she had a heart attack or stroke or?
No, that's what I was wondering too. There's so many questions that are unanswered that we'll never know.
And they are. But when it comes to euthanizing the bear, listen, that's it sounds horrible, but I will tell you, doing what I've done my whole life, when it comes to bear, raccoons, any species, what we were just talking about with snakes. Snakes go to the vole towns, and that's where they hang out for the summer. It's a food source. Once they get a taste for something, those feral cats you're feeding in your backyard that the coons have started cleaning up every night, it's human fault. Not necessarily this case,
right?
But we're figuring out what happened as this proceeds. We're hopefully be able to come up with an answer of why this happened, but
it's just a horrible tragedy all the way around.
It is
from
absolutely.
The wildlife perspective and the human perspective.
Yes, I can't.
On both sides.
I can't. Yeah, I don't know.
I just wondered because I know you've encountered bears.
Oh yeah.
How terrifying of a situation is that? Because, we've seen the video of the person with that cougar or whatever that cat was, the mountain lion that was following.
Yeah.
You don't see, aside from the movie The Revenant, that's pretty much what I've seen of an encounter with a bear. You, I imagine, have had encounters, and how terrifying is that creature?
It's beyond raise the hair on the back of your neck.
Is it really?
It absolutely is. Me and Jackie both had an incident with a bear bow hunting in a wilderness area. Now, you cannot have a firearm on you during bow hunting season. And to know that all I had was my wife and a bow and arrow watching this black bear, hoofing through the woods. Yeah, you do a whole lot of praying. You figure out who Jesus is, and you start repenting.
So they are a intimidating creature.
Absolutely. Everything out there in the wilderness is to be respected.
Fine
it
point.
only takes a nano. I mean, we look at all the car wrecks of somebody just glanced down at their phone on the text message, or God, how many people do you see riding around on their phone? Driving around
Lord.
through. I mean, holy cow, man! And we're worried about bears. Come on, man. We got projectiles going 85 mile an hour down the highway on their phones.
I am much more worried about Derek seeing what Joe's doing tonight than I am about
Edward on his freaking Starbucks driving. His mind's going 2,000 different places.
Eating a whole huge bar-ass hot dog.
Right. Choking on a hot dog down the highway. anyway.
It could all
it's
happen.
too big.
Bottom line, be careful
You
out
just
there.
be careful.
Yeah. Watch
Respect
yourself.
wildlife.
And when it comes to wildlife, Scott said this from the get-go when we got started, and every day that I live, it rings more and more true, and that is educate, understand, and respect. That makes so much sense to me, and not just on a wildlife aspect,
No.
but in everything that goes on around
Our
us.
wives.
Oh, good Lord.
Okay. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Where do you get educated
No,
on that,
you don't.
brother? You
No,
talk
yeah,
big.
yeah.
Big talker.
Not like a hot dog.
See, I choked out another one of
Yeah,
those.
geez.
Next
I don't
cheat
think I
day,
ever
something
want to
new.
hear
No,
about that again.
I will never tell you again.
I hope not. Thank you.
We'll see what comes up next time, though. On,
God help
on
us.
the mic in the mountain, I'm Brian Gary.
Scott Cisco.
We'll talk to you next time.
Dude, this was the ab workout of ab workouts today, man. And it
man.
started before we even went live.
I know.
Oh,
It's
my
one of those
God,
days.
dude.
I got permagrin. Did you slip
Oh.
mushrooms in my coffee
I
again?
may have.
Okay.
I may have. I know they were in mine.
I didn't see
That
that on
hot
the
dog was
Starbucks label.
huge. The way you described it, man, it kept growing.